highlights of the tournament easily, bar far, bar none. Like, it was so good, and I never expected it, like you're saying, to come from that guy.
I mean, we speak about how he has to fill the shoes of Glow, of Stacks, but Jess, he's taken the team a lot further than both of those guys did.
I mean, calling is one thing, and obviously we spoke about Optic, you know, they're calling with finesse and whatnot, and we can't see, it's an intangible when you're watching the game, how well it can be. You can make speculations, you can, you know, maybe sort of postulate that there's good calling going on as a result. But I think for him, he had already stated that he felt he had played bad, and he wanted to be able to step up to the plate as an IGL and as an individual player, and that is a really hard thing to do as a leader who's thinking of 40 things inside one particular round, and then you have to also think about your own personal performance. Man, standing up on the Sova, on the Sage, that's a really, really critical thing for the team today.
And speaking of Zest, here he is talking about how they're ready to make a lower bracket run.
저는 솔직히 말하면 2대 0으로 끝낼 수 있다고 생각했어서 쉽게 이기지 않을까 생각했었는데 패자조로 내려가게 된 건 굉장히 아쉽지만 저희는 아직 올라갈 만한 여력이 있는 팀이라 생각하기 때문에 크게 상심하진 않고 있습니다. 생각보다 옵틱이 되게 오늘 잘해가지고 놀랐었어요. 개인적으로는 지난번 경기처럼 또 순조로운 경기를 치르고 싶지만 제타가 이제 또 어느 정도 성장세를 탄 것 같아서 어떻게 될지 결과는 솔직히 잘 모르겠지만 저희는 오히려 이 아쉬움을 딛고 일어나서 더 집중하는 계기가 돼서 이대로 우승까지 가보도록 하겠습니다.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. Zeta gaining momentum. I think that's kind of the theme of the tournament. But Jess, at what point are they the ones to stop that momentum?
I think there's always a point where you meet a lot of resistance, and that resistance is too much for that sort of momentum to overcome. At what point that comes, you can never call it. But I will say that Optic had referenced the fact that momentum felt on their side, and they were able to use that to overcome by minute sort of factors and areas for them. And I think that that can be the tipping point. That's what they're looking for today. It's just that tipping point to push them over the line.
Sure. One thing, though, for Zeta, every time there's a team that goes on a dream run like this, every step of the way we doubt them, right? And unfortunately, I have to doubt them again. Because
he's giving them the buff, don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
When we get to the map pool, I get really into it. But to me, this matchup is very difficult just from the maps alone.
Well, earlier I told you guys at home that we'll be back with you right after. Now, all of Masters Reykjavik, we've seen our beloved agents suffer from their individual nightmares. I wonder if this has anything to do with what's been happening, what you're about to see on your screen right now. Here is Valorant's new agent for Act 3. Her name is Fade. As you guys can see there, she's wearing a NASA eye on her outfit. Maybe that's an indication where she might be from, but I can't reveal anything just yet because we'll get to know our newest agent in a little more in depth, including a cinematic reveal trailer during our grand finals Sunday, April 24th. So make sure you tune in. You'll also see some of your favorite streamers as well debut some gameplay from Fade right after Masters has concluded. Wow, Jess, I know you're going to love the aesthetics of this agent already. That's how I felt about Chamber. There's a little bit of something for everyone. Yeah.
There really is.
Okay.
Don't zoom up on me. The makeup's hiding the red now.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I can't wait to play her. I'm going to get a chance as well. That's going to be so much fun. She looks cool.
Yep.
But who knows? Every single agent has been a lot of fun to play as they get released, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's looking at how the meta's being shifted, I feel like this is going to cause a
Yes.
storm. And if the whole nightmare thing is true, that's probably going to give a lot of players in ranked some nightmares as well, I feel like.
Yeah,
I
when they
mean-
auto-lock her instantly.
When I first went up against Neon and she pulled the ulti on me, I was like, this
Why?
can't happen.
Yeah.
This can't happen. So whatever Fade brings to the board, I mean, I know that the first time I go up against her, there's just going to be some surprise factor here. So I'm excited for whatever it is.
Yeah, and speaking of surprises, earlier we asked you guys at home to vote on what you would like to see Benkai wear today on his stage walkout.
Oh.
And it's a resounding G2 Carlos.
Man, come on. I was hoping he would walk out as a piece of cheese. Like, that'd
Like-
be so funny.
Like a big triangle cheese.
Yeah, like a
Exactly.
wedge,
Understood,
like an actual
understood.
wedge.
Yeah.
Omen would be cool too. I actually dig the whole Omen vibe. I think Benkai would look good as an Omen. With the hood and mysterious, really fits the nightmare kind of vibe. And yeah.
Ooh. Thing is, we don't know what Benkai's going to do, so I think
No.
we still have some surprises in there for us. Now, which teams will advance to the top 4 today and who will be sent home? Of course, we've been telling you guys it is Elimination Day and it's time for day 9 of Masters Reykjavik to start right now. Let's begin.
We made mistakes individually. But we're used to playing lower bracket runs. We just have a bigger hunger right now.
I'm not really sure of their weakness. They look really strong, but the way we play is really different from all the other teams.
If Paper X is playing chaotic, they're a scary opponent. But we'll know how to stone them now.
I think we will definitely surprise them.
저희가 이제 어느 정도 전략이 노출됐기 때문에 어떻게 될지 결과는 솔직히 잘 모르겠지만 순간순간 이제 상대에 맞춰서 대처할 수 있는 유연함이 필요하지 않나 싶습니다. 가능하다면 최대한 열심히 해서 지난 경기에 PTSD가 오게 노력해보겠습니다.
結構競技シーンに入ったばっかの時、本当に自分が若い時はなんかあんまり人の目とか全然気にならなくて、ただ強いことがすごい好きで、ある時から本当に自分たちの調子が悪くて勝てなくても本当にたくさんの応援をしてくれて、ここまで、来れたのも、ファンの方々の応援の力ももちろんあったなと思っていて、本当に心の底から感謝しています。もちろん応援してくれている分だけ自分たちが勝たなきゃなというか。
지난번과 같은 경기 치르게 해드리겠습니다.
Don't look down on us. We'll be coming for you.
No matter who we face, I think everything is the same as it was before. We're here because we're the best.
I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Laz is the main character of this tournament. That's just main character energy.
I got goosebumps when he's standing there, and I was like, oh man, the intimidation is real. I'm like, I'm not sure I could ever face up to that kind of guy. Whew.
Final boss type beat with the bells.
Yeah.
You know all about that, but you've been that's your nightmare right
That
now,
is your
Paula. We're going to give
nightmare.
some context a bit later when we have time. But you said that you were going to be very worried when it came to the map pool between these two teams. Now,
Yeah.
explain to me what you would think would be the worst case scenario here.
Yeah, well, I think that it is the worst case scenario to start off with, right? The way that Zeta has to play throughout this is very difficult. They have a permaban of Ascent,
Yeah.
right? And that Ascent map is great for DRX.
Yeah.
However, their Haven is clearly not up to snuff, not able to actually contest with DRX. So you have to either ban your permaban and leave Haven in the pool,
Yep.
and they're not going to do that. So I'm okay with that. The problem is they've never played Ascent, so whether it's good or not, could be a big surprise. But my problem still is DRX has to make no concessions. They can still get one of Breeze and Icebox into the pool, and we will get Icebox from Zeta Division. There's not really an advantage anywhere from Zeta Division.
I love that you pull off the bat about the whole Haven, the Ascent. Where do you go with that? Something that we saw Liquid do was hide Fracture like forever
Sure.
and bring it out and just go, yeah, we're happy to play it, and then dominate on it at that
chosen it,
time.
yeah.
So Ascent will come out. DRX probably going through that map veto, standing there thinking, is this a bait? Is this a switch? Do we pick into it? Do we not? Are they prepared on it? I would like to see the fact that Zeta goes, we are not good on Haven. Let's just accept that fact. Let's stop trying to repeat the same thing. That is the definition of crazy.
I mean, so many teams in this tournament are so good on Haven, right? So
Sure.
if this is the direction they want to go now, Jess, especially after getting 13-3'd,
Yeah.
do you like this choice?
Yeah, I'm happy with this. I know that it was going to be an uphill battle for Zeta no matter what had come on the board, but I like the fact that they are accepting that so far recency bias would have them say that Haven is not good for them. So let's go with what might work. We haven't necessarily tested it, but it's better than the tested, true, tried and tested that says we are not good. So let's just throw something at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Is this still the worst case scenario now we've seen the vetoes for you?
Well, who knows what Ascent will bring, but
Yeah.
I just think for me, it's not necessarily worst case scenario. I think they actually did okay here, probably. But the entire structure of it, the entire pool for them in general, it's like DRX matches so perfectly on the maps that they're good at versus the maps that Zeta Division are bad at. The saving grace for me here right now is the fact that Icebox is first, and that is a map that they've really been good at. Every single one of their upsets so far feels like they've played on Icebox and they've dominated. Well, not dominated, but actually been able to come back on. The problem is they have to be able to adjust to DRX's game plan, which is play post plans, because last time it was not there at all. They had no flank ability, and whenever they did, Zest was there, Mako was there to actually receive that and continue to play their regular game plan.
Well, the surprises continue today with the map picks. Zeta and DRX will be walking out momentarily. We'll be right back.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
and Zeta Division are backstage eagerly waiting for this rematch. Without further ado, let's bring the teams onto stage.
And here they come.
The last time these two teams faced each other, DRX absolutely dominated Zeta, but this tournament is all about second chances. The problem is, guys, this could be the last chance, though, for one of these teams.
I mean, it absolutely is. You're staring down the barrel of elimination here. You want that top 4 spot, you have to overcome your severely crippling nightmares of someone who has already wiped the floor with you if you're Zeta. And if you're DRX, you're sitting there going, all right, there's pressure on the shoulders because we have to repeat what we've already done to this team. And oh my God, have they grown.
And we were so close to actually already being in that top 3. That has to be going in their minds, and you already called it out. They're going up against a team who's on a dream run right now, and those teams are so hard to stop. No matter the circumstances, it's going to be a good game.
Well, we're going to go to Icebox here first. The last time, like I said, they faced each other, Bala 13-2. Zeta only got 2 rounds.
Yeah. And it was a Mako game. I mean, we've talked about Mako a lot. Every single time we watched DRX play, he was a monster. He was unstoppable. Nobody on Zeta Division could stop any of his flanks. Nobody could stop his Viper's Molly coming down. Nobody could stop just Mako in general. So huge focus on him. Huge focus on how they're actually going to pressure him on their defensive side when he's setting up for post plants. But other than that, the rest of DRX are turning up on this map too. We just saw a great map against Optic yesterday that came down to 0.04 seconds from Optic Gaming on a defuse that DRX did not miss.
Well, we're into the Prime Gaming agent select here. Jess, it will be crazy for both teams to make any drastic changes here.
I can't imagine. I mean, it's funny because DRX has, criticized teams around the world for not running Chamber on a multiplicity of maps, but this is the one map that they don't run it. They bring the KO instead on the side of Zeta. If Laz doesn't bring the Chamber, it would absolutely burn a hole through my heart, and I would probably cry for a week. So he won't do that to me, and he'll bring the Chamber back, and one of the highest rated Chambers in the entire tournament.
Yeah, but standard comps, I think, on both sides. I think one thing was domestically for DRX in Korea, this comp that they had was not the one that they were running, and it actually caused problems for them. They got dominated by one team and started to cause questions for them, but I think now they've answered them.
Well, Zeta, they haven't lost on this map since losing to DRX, so I'm excited to get into this game with your casters, Pansy and Hypog.
Look, I feel like we could be the bearers of bad news to a degree when we look up this matchup, right? Because we've seen the results the first time around.
Yeah.
But things did start to change, which is why we obviously got to this point. But Mike, bring me back into reality, right? Bring me back down to earth, because we've seen this tangibly once. We've seen very similar scenes to what we can imagine going forward. So where's the difference here? Are you a believer in this whole, dream scenario right now?
I mean, I wasn't early on, but I think the Desperate kind of characterized it perfectly, right? It's the momentum building for a team like this that is so terrifying. But the problem being, the next obstacle is DRX, who actually yesterday came out looking fantastic from a series loss, Lauren.
Yeah, and DRX want to drag them out of this dream and twist their reality back to our expectations. But Zeta, you're going to have to go against the odds. I think that is a very simple factor in this, and DRX still so consistent. Arguably one of the best games we've seen so far up against Optic, putting up a huge performance, looking solid. There obviously wasn't quite enough, hence why we are here. But already, look at this absolute crunch of proactive play from Zeta.
And this is great. In terms of the prep, in terms of that first series we were talking about, we saw DRX bust out this B-side execute with the deep wall, and again, Stacks being the one to push forward. It's exactly the same once again. It will get the plant down. No real trade-off of damage just yet.
And I love this kind of, not necessarily counterintuitive, but hyper-creative a way to just take away CT, which forces this retake to be so difficult. it just buys so much time. So Zeta have to focus on working back through middle, which is actually what they've done quite well at so far, taking down RB. Stack's going to be put to work, but they've lost out all the players on the site, and Zeta identify the way forward, slicing through middle, and now Zest and Marco, tricky positions, because how do they deny the defuse? I guess that's going to help out. Marco's trying to buy a bit of time, allows Zest for the swing, and then they deliver the goods. 2 back-to-back, putting 10 now on the back foot. And suddenly these two players doing everything they can, but the wall has to break, and he has to get the frag. The time, he ain't got much left of it, and Zest holds on to this.
It's actually crazy they get away with that once again. After initially, it looks like Zeta have the answer. They have the response to that. Initially, we see so much pressure come through mid, and basically that's to attack the backline, attack some of this post-plant comfort that DRX have with this execution.
If you could have
everything
just
goes right for them.
stick to the
I'll be
bomb,
honest, it's fumbled on site here.
they could have.
I mean, Ten's
they
put
could
in an
have won.
awful situation
Definitely.
here. Zest there to close it out. DRX will find the pistol round. This is what I've got my eye on, though. Zeta's ability to really get into the backlines.
It's super hard to disrupt, of course. We know that. We've seen so many teams try and fail, but correct read coming out. 10 does get noted. And DRX don't look to be changing, but this is a full-on 5-stack over towards A for the defending side here. Going to post up numbers and hope for the best. Now noting a great deal, I'm sure. Maybe a second guess could come in, but no, they carry on forward. Lad's still going to connect, but it's a 3-for-1 trade out. And DRX look unfazed, unfussed, and not losing numbers here. Comfortable work until it gets a little sloppy, but Sugar Zero low HP. He gets found by Marco. So 3 alive.
Bro, why was Sova looking down?
Well handled there.
The Chamber not tell him.
Real threat coming through. He's playing trades effectively. On the way to site. A good read again from Zeta just to stack up here and try and make it as difficult as possible. So DRX going to come back into this. 2 Bulldogs, 2 Spectres. Stack's actually going to get a bit of swap out here for the Sheriff to get across to Zest. So we're going to be sitting pretty comfortable. Coming through to this about Zeta. Actually 2 light shields here. No real gaps in utility.